All right, hello everyone, the four of you, as expected. I mean, it's lunch talk, right? So welcome to the last breakout session for this symposium. And so today, actually I have some really exciting stuff to talk about. Today I'll be talking about a new initiative that Liferay is working on relating to this concept called Customer Data Platform, we short it for CDP, and why we think CDP is essential to providing exceptional customer experiences. And as part of our new Analytics Cloud offering, Liferay has laid the foundation for the Customer Data Platform that helps you bring data together for customer data stores across your entire enterprise. And Liferay CDP will be the technology that will connect the dots across customer journeys, ultimately help you improve business outcomes such as customer satisfaction, customer retention, and additional purchases. So I think some of you guys might be wondering, oh, hey, is Liferay just announcing another product now? So I just want to make it clear, the answer is no. CDP and its capability are planned as part of the Analytics Cloud offering. So with that out of the way, first let's talk about customer experience for a little bit and why it's so important. So customer experience is a hot topic right now, and there's a good reason for it. Many companies see the correlations between great customer experience to loyalty and revenue. And in a study done by Forrester, leaders in CX delivers on average 17% revenue growth within 5 years, whereas poorer customer experience companies deliver only 3% over the same period. And Jerry Gregory, CIO of Dell, he actually says the customer experience is the next battleground, a next competitive battleground. And so in the market that's becoming more and more commoditized, many products or services are comparable in the marketplace. And the only way for you to stand out from your competition comes down to the experiences that you're providing. And lastly, David Gottsman, the Chief Digital Officer at Coca-Cola, when speaking about company transformation, he says, we're facing a new digital world. We need to learn more about our customer, understand them, and personalize at scale. So they're not joking around, right? They literally let you customize the Coke bottle with your name or your friend's name. And I actually tested this. You can actually buy that from the store now. You don't have to try to find it, be lucky. Now you can just order it, and that bottle will come to you. But CX isn't just about making beautiful advertisement or creating amazing websites, right? Customer experience is all about putting customers' need at the core, at the center of what a company does, and to ensure the customer have a flawless and consistent experience along all of the journey, both online and offline, and along all of the relevant customer journeys. When the customer is satisfied with the company, they're also lowering the cost to serve, but also having a higher potential to be loyal customers, and maybe they'll even promote your company to the others. So that's great, right? We know the benefit of having a great customer experience strategy. But how do we start? How do we do that, and what technologies are there that can help us? So unfortunately, a lot of companies out there, even with good reason to believe CX can indeed give you an advantage, many don't actually have the skills and technology to do so. And one of the key challenges comes down to fully understanding your customers with data. So in the Harvard Business Analytics Service Study, one of the biggest roadblocks on delivering exceptional customer services is actually dealing with customer data. The study highlights the lack of single customer view, which is the second one over here, and real-time customer insight as something that is holding them back as CX optimization. So instead of showing a study done by others, we also did a survey earlier yesterday. And we actually had to use a $50 gift card for the incentive, but the result is actually really great. When we ask about if you feel like your organization actually has a solution for single customer view, 5 being strongly agree and 1 being strongly disagree, the result is actually very encouraging. Many of the participants actually think they have a solution for single customer view, and I think a lot of you guys are on the right track. But I think there's a lot of ways to challenge. There's still a lot of challenge out there, and maybe you're not sure if you're doing it right, or maybe there's things that you can do to make things easier, right? So usually there are 2 barriers for companies to successfully actually implementing single customer view. And the first barrier is actually because of data residing in silos. So going back to this journey, So typically, a customer interacting with more than one touch point just to satisfy their needs. And it's important that you, as a company, to take a look at the whole journey insight and think about how you can actually improve this entire customer journey. So the complexity comes when you realize that most of the time, companies are organizing in silos. So in a typical customer journey, a company usually implement many, many different systems just to interact with and capture data with the customer. And so maybe in the awareness phase, you have a public website that is built by DXP. And in the consideration phase, your sales, they might be using the public website also, but they might be using email, or they might be using CRM such as Salesforce to interface with the leads. And then you might have a commerce platform, maybe Liferay Commerce, to manage the purchasing experiences with your customers. And finally, in the last two phases, service and loyalty, you will use maybe a customer portal or a partner portal to serve your customer. And some company might decide to use, hey, we're going to just use one platform to do this, and we're going to use Liferay DXP. That's great for you, and you'll make things a lot easier. But actually, in most cases, especially bigger enterprises, anytime as a company add a new channel, they take the easy route, and they set up a channel as a separate applications using different vendors or different software company, or even just build a homegrown solutions. And this, therefore, data start residing in different silos, and each customer interaction is actually being viewed independently rather than as part of the bigger journey here. So it's important to have a right process and technology to bridge these silos and aggregate all of your customer data together. So another survey question here. I think most of you guys actually do think stitching data together from disparate data sources is a challenge. There's actually only a few participants thinking that they were doing a really good job, but a lot of them think this is a challenge for them. So the second barrier is poor data quality. I think for any of those data scientists out there, poor data quality actually can slow down your effort creating a single customer view or creating any reports or insights. So without accurate and reliable data, the effort is often wasted. So it's really important to align with the data owner across your organization and better understand the data collection process and how they can improve and reduce the chances of a human error. So in Liferay, we believe that fully understanding your customer journey and who they are is the first step of providing exceptional customer service. And we think that CDP is the technology that will help you unify your customer data and provide real-time customer insights for your entire organization. So what is the CDP? I think for the people that just came in, earlier I said CDP is actually not a new product that we're announcing. CDP is part of Analytics Cloud. So all of the feature I described, following feature I described, will be part of the Analytics Cloud. So customer data platform in a nutshell is really just a system that integrates, cleans, and combines the data from multiple channels and to create a persistent and unified layer that is accessible to other systems across your entire organization. And the purpose is to create a single customer view, and with both profile data and behavior data that helps you understand your customer. So CDP also provides a capability that lets you create, discover precise real-time segmentation, allowing marketers to create personalized communications, also allowing sales to identify lookalike customers with upsell and cross-sell opportunities. So, and also with all the historical data that is stored in CDP, sorry, it allows support of customer reps, account reps to provide more consistent services. And I think another additional benefits for a CDP is actually this data is available for your entire organization to have access, and it allows people to be able to do self-service BI, creating reports, and then for the reports and insights that is not provided by CDP out of the box. So let's talk about the first part, how we actually integrate data and create a single customer view. So in the use case here again, you could have a lot of systems that is fitting these categories. You might want to track your customer's website activities on your public website that is built on DXP. You might also have a marketing form that is collecting information from your prospect. And you could also have profile information about your leads, contacts, customers, like contacts an account from CRM such as Salesforce, right? And then you might have some custom data stored somewhere in your legacy system, maybe in a SQL database, maybe information about who attended a certain training that we're providing or which customer meeting that we're having, right? Finally, we could have some transactional system with the release of Liferay Commerce. That is such a platform that will have information about purchase history. So the goal here is to merge all of these data together into a single customer view. So traditionally, the method of integrating data is through ETL, extract, transform, and load. This involves connecting to the data source, extracting the data, data cleansing, standardization, customer ID matching, data stitching, and finally loading the data into a data warehouse. And so this is a huge effort normally for a lot of companies. And it requires a lot of time, cost, and specialized skills from IT. And most of the time, the final result is actually not very timely because with the growth of the volume and the velocity of the data that's coming in from modern business. So data collection process shouldn't be unwieldy and shouldn't be this complicated. So there are two key advantages that Liferay CDP that makes data collection process simpler and faster. So the first is with out-of-the-box data connectors that connects with well-known applications. So all you need to do is, as a data integrator, you just have to identify the channel and the data sources that you want to include, provide a proper authentication method, and then also with some little configuration, the system will start automatically syncing data based on its best knowledge about the source channel. So it will automatically do ID matching for you too. It will also do data stitching, so it will merge all of the data about the same person together in one profile. So currently in GA release, out of the box in Analytics Cloud, we already have the capability to connect with any Liferay DXP website, as long as it's, I think, 7.0 above. And once you get connected, it will automatically sync user profile data from the user table and all of the analytics data whenever the users start interacting with your website. And we also have a Salesforce connector that, similar fashion to the DXP connector, it will pull data from Salesforce directly from leads, contacts, and account objects out of the box. And in the future, we'll continue to add more various different connectors. Some of the ones that we want to highlight would be Liferay Commerce itself, also Marketo, HubSpot, Zendesk, and along any website that's built not on Liferay. And we want to help you to be able to capture as much data as you can, even though you build all the other your solution using other systems. Okay, so here I'll be showing a little demo to see how easy it is to actually connect to a Salesforce data source. So here in Liferay Analytics Cloud, under settings, you have this thing called data sources, and I will show you all of the data that's already connected. All you have to do is add data sources, pick the one that you want to add. So here with Salesforce, we're using OAuth authentication. So all you have to do is provide the client ID and client secret from Salesforce application here. Click authorize. And of course, for OAuth, you have to authorize it from Salesforce. And then the data connection will be all set up. Now you just go to configuration and look at configuring these data sources. So out of the box, like I said, we offer these 3 objects to be synced. All you have to do is choose which one you want to enable. So in this case, we're going to enable all 3, and then the data will start syncing in and always keep up to date inside CDP. So I think that's pretty easy, but how about if you have data, custom data that resides in your legacy systems, maybe in a SQL database or in a CSV file, and there's no out-of-the-box connection for it. And so the second advantage in Liferay CDP is this something that we call data virtualization. So CDP is actually just an abstracted layer that unifies all of your data without being actually constrained by the data format and schema at the sources, right? So it only mashes up the data that you really need on demand without mass data duplication. We're not actually duplicating data completely based on the structure that you have from the source. We only pull the things we need, and then we'll create a new layer for all of this data. And so with that, so it does not require a data integrator to actually set up a predefined schema right at the bat. It does not, you don't need to fix any field mappings for different events or for different demographic profile data. So the data definition is actually very flexible, and it can be updated anytime. And furthermore, all of your other system in the enterprise, it will also use this data layer as an access, so it does not need to be in contact with any of the source. It doesn't need to know how the schema works. It doesn't need to know how the data structure works. Through API, you just need to contact this data virtualization layer, and you get all of the customer data you need in one place. So this is actually a lot simpler than it sounds. So like if you're familiar with SQL database, so it's pretty much just like a database view, right? The database view combines data from 2 or more data tables using joins, and only will have the data that a subset of information from those tables, right? So maybe you're still confused, and I have a demonstration for you here to show you how simple it is to actually bring data together in CDP. So there are actually 2 types of virtual schema in CDP. One is called the virtual profile. The other one is called virtual event. And as you can guess, one of them defines who the customer is with all of the properties. The other one defines what a customer does and what their behavior is like. So defining virtual profile, it's very easy. Let me switch to the demo real quick. So here, to define a virtual individual profile, on the interface here, you see on the top is there are already 2 sources already connected and linked to this schema. One is from a DXP, and the other one is from Salesforce. And I'm just going to throw a little use case along with this demonstration. So let's pretend I'm a data engineer working at a manufacturing company that sells components and equipment to many dealerships across the nation. So the dealers are my customer in this case. And the marketing department is asking me that they want to know who are all of the exclusive dealers who helped us generate more than 1 million lifetime revenue, and they want to send out an email promotion to the primary contact of those dealers, and they need to know who they are, right? And currently in our CDP, we don't have any of those data, but it just happened in a legacy system that we're keeping track of these specialized dealer information in a SQL database. So I could bring this data into CDP, and then very easily, so the marketer can actually query this information using CDP. So here, oh, where are my mouse? Okay, so assuming that you already connected and authenticated your databases, so here we have a database right here listed here, and then it will show all of the table coming along with this database. So I do have this table called dealer profile. I'm going to add this and merge it with our individual schema. And first of all, it's going to ask you, how would you like to join those 2 tables together, right? And for our case, we're going to use email. So there's a primary contact email from this table. We're going to match it to there's an existing field that we already have called email in this individual schema. Once you select that, you'll see new fields start merging in. And this is just an example, so there's only 3 columns from this database. So one of them is called region, state, lifetime revenue, and exclusive dealership. And it's a true and false, right? So once you bring this data in, you also realize that, oh, I already have a state information here, and then there's also the same field coming in. What you can do is you can merge them, or you can actually drop this column that you can select that you don't want to sync. But just in case maybe some of my other data sources doesn't have the state information, I'll use this instead. So then I will merge these 2 columns together. Now this column actually has 3 data sources pumping data into it. Okay, so one of the things that you might have to do is actually set a priority of how the data is surfaced in your single customer view. Which one is the one that you're going to take as the truth, right? So you can use different roles such as newest data, or you can use roles by priority by data sources. So if you think Salesforce actually has the most relevant information, you can put Salesforce on the highest priority. If Salesforce doesn't have that information, then other data sources will provide those data. So in this case, we'll say newest data, At the same time, I realized, okay, these fields are actually not standardized. Some of them are abbreviated, some of them are actually spelled out. So we have a quick way to cleanse the data. You just have to provide what type of data it is and what kind of role that you want. And so out of the box, we'll provide a lot of different roles and types, allow you to be able to quickly cleanse this with ease. But I think we also have, we will also provide a way to kind of let you manually cleanse those data by using conditions and using role-based conditions. So now I cleanse this state column. So you see Wisconsin actually now is abbreviated. And I take a look at this schema. Now lifetime revenue is mapped to my individuals. And I also know if they actually work at an exclusive dealership or not. So once you're happy with this, you just hit update. And what happened here is then CDP will start syncing data and keep it up to date from this point on. So you can also use CDP to map this other thing called virtual events, which is what people do with your company, right? So besides the web analytics events that we're already capturing, there may be some custom event that you couldn't capture just yet. Maybe they belong in a database, or maybe you're using some other tools to track those web analytics. So adding to the same use case that we're on, so now maybe customer support departments comes to me and say, hey, I want to display an advertisement on our customer portal to promote telling people to take our equipment repair training, because we realize if they don't take these trainings, they're not going to provide good services, and our customer's not going to be happy, right? So they want this ad to only be able to show to people who has not taken the training. So how do we bring this event? How do we bring this data in? So it's very similar to building the profile schema. All you have to do here is new event. And since this is a new event, nothing has been mapped yet. But in this case, I just happen to have two tables describing who attended the event and what my training courses are. So the first table I'm going to add is training attendance. Same thing, I'm going to map it based on email, and all of the columns from that table will come in. But I realized this is not actually helpful because there wasn't the course's name on it, and what I need to know is who take what course, right? And so I also have another table, which is all the training courses. I'm going to join that based on course ID, which is from this table, training attendance table, mapped to training courses. Hit done. And now the training courses and the name will also be part of this event schema. Then you can do a preview of your data, making sure everything is good. So when we do preview, we're not really syncing the data just yet. We just take a sample of the data, and so you can kind of validate if the data is okay. Here, I'll also demonstrate how you actually would just hide a column. So CDP will not sync this after you save. And now we see, okay, we have the course name here. We have even the time when they take the courses and who they are, so that's great. I'll create this schema, and now attended training is part of the event that CDP will be tracking, along with all the other custom events that we just described. So it is easy to use like a GUI to create this type of data schema. It's probably easy for non-technical people, for marketers to be able to do this. But however, in the future, I think we're still also going to provide a way to maybe allow technical people to use just simple query language to stitch all this data together. So that's something that we're also thinking about. So by using data virtualization, marketing or IT can actually quickly create a single customer view that fits your organization's need, right? We just demonstrated that different departments might want different things, and you want to put this all together really quickly. So this is one of the end result that comes to all of the work that we just did. I'm sorry, I need to go back to the slides. So here, Liferay CDP will provide a profile view of all your individuals and even accounts, so that you can have complete picture of your customer throughout their customer journey. So here you can see that all of the profile informations are here, including the ones that we just added, lifetime revenue and exclusive dealership. And we also have all of the recent events of this person. And this also includes the page view and downloads that is captured by web analytics, but also some of those events that we just define as custom events. So here, attending training will be shown. So this really gives you a better understanding of who your customer are and what they're doing. And on top of that, CDP also do some analysis with those data too, out of the box. So we have interest analysis that tells you based on these behavior, these are some of the topics that they're interested in. So you can actually do segmentation based on interest and topic and provide personalizations on top of that as a criteria. So now let's take a look at how you actually can take actions using the data that you capture in CDP. And then primarily we'll talk about in the use case with web personalization. So CDP lets marketer create really fine-grained and granular data segment because all of the data is in CDP. So there's very different dimensions that you can use. So this is especially powerful. So marketers don't have to try to fit their customers into like a certain set of molds and certain set of personas. You can actually truly personalize at scale, down to the details. So in Analytics Cloud, we have this interface that allows you to create segmentation based on any of the data and any conditions. We also have an expression builder for more advanced user who just want to type out this query. So once you create a segment, it could be used for personalization. And how do we actually orchestrate a personalization? And so I think many of you might have already been to the talk from yesterday from Angelo Yu talking about when. And so for the future release of Liferay DXP 7.2, we're planning to revamp audience targeting and allowing you to create web personalization using modern site building. So as a marketer, this is now in DXP, okay? As a marketer, I can just simply add an audience using modern site building here. Select that segment I just created in Analytics Cloud. And after that, for this audience, I'm going to change this banner and to show that, hey, you should take this training because we think training is important for you, right? So now for this audiences who has not taken the training, when they log into the customer portal, they'll see this. So it's very easy to orchestrate. And I think using CDP, since all of your data is, including behavior, are all stored in the cloud. So instead of previously in audience targeting, we store them locally in DXP. So not only this is actually a performance improvement, it also allows other systems in your company, in your business, such as your mobile app, to also use that data in the cloud to access this customer data too. So this allows the marketer to actually create a really good, consistent omni-channel experiences for your customers. So also from this survey, I'm actually really happy that personalization is one of the top use cases that many of you guys indicated that you will use single customer review for. So I think this survey is a good start, but I think there are many, many things that we would like to do in customer data platform in the future in Liferay. So as we continue to develop and as we continue to develop Analytics Cloud and CDP features, we'll love to get more feedback from all of you so we can improve the product based on your need. And so feel free to contact us and give us feedback anytime in the future. So in closing, I just wanted all of you guys to kind of think back on the very first talk on the guest keynote from Dr. Garbajani. He actually encouraged us as a company to invest in technology and also transform the culture on how we operate, right? So I think CDP is a technology that will help you understand and serve your customer better by using data. But I think that's just the very first step. I also encourage you as a company to actually transform your culture to be more customer-centric, actually putting the customer at the center, at the core of your business. And if you can, wow your customer every step of the way, I'm pretty sure it will also improve your business outcome as well. So thank you. That's it.